How do you use this bag and hold your book and put your pen inside your bag? Okay, yeah, you carry bag that you have. I think it's I think
We go now.
I think your video and your finish because I can feel. But I think for me,
I'll just wait first.
Good morning, all. Please mute yourself. Both of you on Zoom.
good morning.
Say mute yourself. Share.
Mute yourself, including you that you are abusing somebody else. Everybody mute yourself.
Now what was going on here?
She knew okay, Sha.
Okay. If you have anything to say, you can put it on the chat box. I don't want anybody to. I can see. As you can see, you don't like the discipline to. Okay, good morning, everybody. This is chemistry 107 chapter. This is an introductory class. As it is on the scientific on Wednesday, so they will say you be scheduled accordingly. I've also shared a link. I know that Zoom cannot take more than 3 minutes. So I've shared a link. Whoever is raising up your hand, put a message in the chat box. I am not going to ask you. So put your message, the message in the chat box, looking at the chat or any question that you want to ask. You can't hear me. Yes, you can hear me now. You cannot hear me when you wouldn't and echo. For those that are saying they can't hear me, is it better now? Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me now? Okay, so no more echo. I was connected to you. All right, so let's get to the nitty-gritty of it. This particular lecture is not going to take long. It's an introductory class. I am Dr. Ooloba Whenu. but there are about 6 of us that are going to be handling this course, and you'll be introduced to whichever lecturer will be handling your own section of the lab. There are different sections of the lab, and there are about 3 or 4 practicals that you'll be doing at this time. Today, again, is an online class, no practical. We're introducing you. So, I'm sure that this is not your first time being in chemistry lab, and you know that there are many chemicals in the lab, meaning that anything that can happen. Like with everything that we do, there is an introduction to knowing what it is about. Chemistry lab is not an exception. So laboratory work is important part of your training. So there are some of you in geophysics, some of us in chemistry, some of us in medicine and surgery. So you are always doing one form of the lab or another. So it is important, and it's a valuable part of the experience that you're going to undergo in your university education. That means it is imperative that you learn part of that you do lab. First thing first that we need to know with laboratory work is that it is a high-risk area. Chemical labs are high-risk areas simply because of the chemicals that we deal with. Please pardon my beautiful handwriting. Because of the chemicals that we deal with. We deal with acids, and acids can burn our skin. So while the laboratory activities can be interesting when you see different colors on your titration, or you see you making new things, it is important to know that it's a high-risk area, and you have to ensure any form of safety, because any accidents that can happen may cause a permanent injury, and nobody wants that for themselves. So safety depends. What first thing that we need to do is we need to understand safety. So safety depends on everybody individually as a teamwork, and most importantly, there are rules that are given in the lab, and we need to adhere by those rules. We need to everybody. Very, very important. It is everybody's duty. So let's go through the different requirements of the lab. Now, looking at our rules. Number 1, if you are coming into the lab, you must be appropriately dressed. There's still another slide dedicated to this. So the lab requirements, as you're going to enter the lab, you must be appropriately dressed, meaning that you need to wear your lab coat. You need to have your goggles in case you're going to deal with a very big, strong chemical. Then you need to have your closed-toe shoes. Closed-toe shoes, meaning that your toes must be closed. And you need to wear something that closes your feet. You see, like this guy that is here is completely covered from head to toe. You don't want any spill on your skin, again, that can cause any damage. You need your safety goggles. So we have our lab coat, long-sleeved, knee-length lab coat, not a white shirt that you just bought along the way. So your closed-toe shoes, preferably made of leather or something very close, so that no chemical can go through it. So you've been told to register in the lab. That has been sent out since last year. So you have to buy your manual and your lab notebook. So that's your report book and the laboratory manual. And then because you're going to be working on numerical calculations, you need to come with your own personal scientific calculator. It is why? Because each lab that you do is an examination, so you have to be prepared for it. So, and other writing materials. So if you do not have this, your instructor may deny you entry. So you may be denied. Ma, where can we buy goggles? You can buy, if you go to the chemistry lab, you get goggles. They sell goggles there, the ones that are appropriate for our lab. So the reason why you have your manual, you must have been told that the kind of practicals that you're going to do ahead of time. Must the report book have graph? So please, this is our lab notebook. If you bring any other notebook, you'll be denied entry. This lab notebook, that's why I brought the picture here, Gongo, so that you can see it. That is the lab notebook that you have to use. The manual is currently not available. Before the lab starts, it will be made available in the store. I stopped by today and I noticed it. So before the lab, it will be made available. Crocs is not allowed. Please, Crocs have holes in them. So don't wear them. If you have any injury, please always report to the lab staff. So before each practical, please read your experimental procedure and plan your work accordingly. This our lab manual, lab notebook. You can go home with your lab manual, but your lab notebook must be submitted at the end of each lab. So before you bombard with me many more questions, let me see. The ones with graph isn't also available. Whether graph or not graph, this one that I'm showing you doesn't have graph, but if you bring another notebook, let me emphasize again, this is the lab notebook. Ignore the whether is with graph or without graph. This is the lab notebook that you have been told to buy for CHM 107. Goodness gracious, you're all like little children. So the reason you are looking at it is the picture. Maybe my own camera is not very good enough. So please, but once you get to the university bookshop, just tell them chemistry 107 lab notebook, whichever one they give you, buy it and bring it. How much is it? Please go to where you want to buy it. There's no video. There's no video where. So now I am going to quickly go through what is in your lab manual in terms of rules. You know, I said in the previous video that it's important that you follow rules. So the general laboratory rules require, if you do, this is the part that I like the most, always ask. Always, always, always ask. It is very, very important. Do not use any equipment that you have not been told to use. Again, in the laboratory, this is not this is not homework. You know, you're not the only one that is present. There are many people that are there. So you don't just take laws into your hand and think that, okay, I can do as I like. Maybe I've done something like this before and all that. No, please, when you are in a shared space, and this is not just for chemistry 107, whenever you're in any lab or in any shared space, it's important that you follow the rules. If you don't know how to handle anything, please ask. The fact that you don't know that you shouldn't put a metal in a microwave does not mean that the microwave will not burst open when you put metal simply because you think you didn't know. So please always, always, always ask. Never performed any unauthorized experiments. Again, I'm reading from your manual. If you have your manual, I'm going through your manual with you now. Parts of the questions will come out from that. So the general rules are given in your manual. You can open, so I'm going through from page 5 to 6, 5 to 7 quickly. Work only during scheduled laboratory hours. Don't come at any other time. As you are registering, if you have not been assigned a group or a batch, before your lab starts, you'll be assigned a group, you'll be assigned the time that you would come. You'll be told the time to come for your pre-lab lectures, and you keep to that time. Everything needs to be ordered. Each lab
has its own fire extinguishers. I'll show you some of them. As eye stations, safety showers, and emergency exits and first aid boxes. Well, I'm not expecting any of you. You can't hear me? Hello? Okay, some people are saying they cannot hear me. Okay. All right, so let me continue then. Let me see those of us online. Okay, so please, each lab has this. I don't expect you to go and handle them. There are always lab staff available. So anything that you see out of place, you can always talk to them. You handle glass, especially hot glass, handle them with care, because whether it is hot or cold, it looks the same. There are some things that look different when they are at different temperatures. So handle with care. Never use your mouth to pipette. Keep flammable materials away from you. Don't leave Bunsen burners or any heaters unattended. Once you're done, turn off gas, water, and electricity. Other than you are trying to save energy, you are trying to conserve every other thing too, and you are really putting safety first. Store bags and coats away in designated areas. You can't put your bags on the floor, on the desk where you are working. There are places where you will be told to put them. Please do not write personal information. Do not put in personal chats, because you're going to be disturbing how I'm talking. I'm looking at your chats as I'm teaching you. So whatever you did in ISL, please, it's not necessary here. Only put questions that are necessary for this class. Now, this last line is very important. Let me expand it. So some of us have sensitivities, some of us have allergies. It can be something related to breathing, asthma, and all that. Please do not be ashamed or afraid to tell the instructors. We don't want a situation where we will have to rush you to the hospital. It is not a nice experience. So note that if you want to tell anybody about any health issue, so allergy sensitivities and other health issues, please bring it up to the instructor. If you don't stop talking about what you did in your secondary school, I am going to stop the opportunity to chat. So if you don't have any question, okay, so what are you going to use to fill a pipette? There are pipette fillers. When the time comes, you'll be shown the pipette filler. Personal conduct in the laboratory. Always wear your lab coat and goggles. We've said that. For beautiful ladies with long hair, please tie it to the back. I thought I had a picture on that. I think so. Okay, again, we've said wear flat shoes. No eating or drinking in the laboratory. Not allowed. It's not time for us play or any form of play. It is time for serious business. Remember, each lab is like an experiment. It's like an exam. It is not time to use your phone and earphone and device. It is time to do serious work. Don't sit on laboratory benches. Don't taste chemicals. If you inadvertently inhale chemical, whether by mouth or anything, or it spills on your skin, please instantly, there's a shower or there's a water area, wash it off. Do not remove chemicals or anything from the lab. It is not your own, it's for everybody to use. Clean your work area after use and dispose of waste properly. Good housekeeping rules. You don't want a dirty area. This picture, even though it's faint, is not an appropriate lab. It's too untidy. So always make sure that you keep your benches and the house clean. You keep your workspaces clean. Clean at the end of each session. Do not block sinks or drains or exits or any emergency equipment. You never know when you might use it. Never pour chemical waste into sinks, or in short, put chemicals away in the appropriate places. How will you know? If you are not sure, ask the lab staff that is in charge of you. So you put chemical waste in their appropriate containers, broken glasses in appropriate containers, gloves and everything, they have their appropriate containers. Turn off gas, water, and electrical supply when you're finished. Handling chemicals, some of these I've repeated. Please always read your labels carefully. Never ever used any unlabeled chemicals. You don't know what it's in there. The person that put it will come and take it away. When you want to touch, you don't touch chemicals. Are there questions on YouTube? Chat on YouTube. So the lab coat does not have to have chemistry brand or Unilag logo, but it must be long. It must reach your knee. It really does have to go past your bum. What else is on YouTube that I can't see now? Yeah. So do not taste chemicals directly. Even if you want to smell chemicals, you are going to wave it to yourselves. Never use metal spatulas with peroxides. Don't worry, you will not be working with peroxides in this year one lab, but you may work with something similar in your in this first semester lab. I mean, the one that annoys people, always add acid to water, never water to acid. Now take only the amount of chemicals that you need. You don't need to use more than. Yes, you can wear sneakers. Yes, you can use your nose mask. Manual will be available before you come into your lab. Most of us are yet to register because we haven't got the lab manual. Okay. Please, if you can, please go to the lab. Go back to by tomorrow, please. Check again for the manual. Handle toxic, anything that produces fumes that are toxic. Please handle them in the fume cupboard. So what did I say? Don't inhale vapors directly. Don't smell vapors directly. Okay. So I said I was going to come back to this. So you're asking if Crocs are socks allowed? That's a very funny question. So goggles. So you want to wear the goggles. See this goggle? It covers the face, it covers the side. You want to protect your eye as much as possible. So wear gloves. when handling chemicals. If you're going to be handling chemicals directly, please wear gloves. Now, somebody asked if the gloves will be provided. Gloves will not be provided for you. Goggles are compulsory, of course. Goggles are compulsory. Long lab coats, not apron. We're in chemistry lab. Again, the closed-toe, low-heeled shoes. Now, this one, the next one that I want to talk about now, I'm very particular about it. These long trousers, no shorts, no short skirts. We don't want any skin exposed. That's what we are trying to prevent. No skin to be exposed as much as possible. You know, the truth of the matter is when you see a chemical coming close to you, you can quickly take your head off. So in the light of no skin being exposed, somebody asked if you're allowed to wear face mask or nose mask. Yes, that's absolutely fantastic. No Crocs, please. Your Crocs are not closed because most of them have holes in them. You know that I don't know how to draw, but see if this is a Croc. So most Crocs have holes scattered all over them. We don't want Crocs. So closed-toe shoes. Somebody asked if sneakers. Ma, can ladies wear trousers? Of course, trousers are what you should wear. Please, for those of us that say that if you wear trousers, something you are committing sin. Well, I'm not going to go into your matters of faith. If you are going to wear long skirts, please let that skirt be touching your ankle, and please not flowing skirts. My beautiful Alajas, please. If you wear flowing skirts, well, I'm trying to be very realistic here. The skirts might be packing things as it goes all around. So we don't want anything that is flowing. If you want to wear straight skirts, we want long, straight skirts, straight knee, dele, all the way to the ground, to your ankle, straight. Not a skirt that is like this. We don't want that. That is a flowing skirt. We don't want that one. Everything has appropriateness. Like I used to tell people, I don't think anybody will want to wear agbada to the beach because it's not appropriate to swim with agbada. You wear something appropriate to swim. So please, when you're coming to the lab, please wear the appropriate clothing. Some of us bought manual last year that has already been signed. Should be last year, is just last week. So, yeah, avoid sandals or slippers or high heels. Loose jewelry or dangling accessory. So you don't want anything that will be flying around. Somebody is trying to titrate and needs to warm up the solution before titrating, and then you are bringing your flying air around the thing, and then it catches fire. When it catches fire, everybody is now flying helter skelter. So please tie your hair. Tie your hair beautifully. Don't let it be flying around. Artificial synthetic fingernails, you don't want that one to catching fire. Loose sleeves, scarves, or neckties, that can fly around. That's why we are saying avoid them. It is very, very important that we adhere to rules. Rules are not meant to enslave us, they are meant to protect us. You are going to spend maximum 2 or 3 hours in the lab. So you can do without that for that period of time. Please. Flat baby shoes, long sleeve shirt, compulsory. Let's see, isn't the lab coat enough? Where is he getting that? Okay, that's an unnecessary question. Let me look at in the question that makes sense. Flat shoe that covers the toe, but some part of the leg is still showing. Is it okay to wear? Cover your shoe, cover your feet as much as possible, please. Gloves will not be provided. If you can wear short sleeve, or make sure you cover yourself with your lab coat. Yes, your lab coat must reach the knee. If possible, you can go beyond. Can I sew my lab coat? I don't think lab coats are invented like that. Every lab coat has been sewn by a tailor. If we get injuries, will we be permitted to wear slippers? Please, show yourself to the lab staff. Now, let me come back to this issue of long skirts again, because some people will say their skirt is long, it will be 3/4. If I'm in that lab and I see you wearing 3/4, I am going to send you out of that lab and you are going to score a 0. So please, if you are scared of wearing trousers because you think that it is a sin, please wear your trousers under it and wear your skirt on top of it. That is fine. I don't want to see skin. Please, at any point in time, no skin. Are you telling me that if you go to a cold place where the cold will freeze your bones instantly, you will tell me you will not wear trousers? Come on, let's be realistic. Okay, so moving on, I'm spending too much time. Every lab has an emergency kit. It is so this one I'm going to enjoin you immediately you enter the lab. You can immediately your lab starts and you enter the lab, look around for those little emergency things around you. So one of them is knowing exits. Anything can happen. How to raise an alarm. You can ask the lab staff on how to raise an alarm. So fire extinguisher. So I'm not sure we have a blanket, but we have the sand bucket. But we have our fire extinguisher. You have first aid kit. You have the sand bucket in case there's fire that you can pour it on top of it. And then we do have the shower as well. So please, if any accident occurs, even if you know that you can do something about it, please always alert the person in charge. There's a reason why there's somebody in charge. Please alert the people that are in charge. Do not try to be Superman. All together. Inform the instructor or technologist if you can assist the injured person calmly. And this is even for all of us. If there is an accident, please do not just raise alarm. When you raise alarm, you're causing more panic, and panic is not good anywhere, whether in the lab or out of the lab. Please, and evacuate via the nearest exit. That is if necessary. So somebody asked, are phones allowed? You can come with your phone to the lab, but please, it is not the time to start using phone and be pressing and say that. And no, it's not time. The reason why we are saying you can come to the phone, because we don't want anything happening to your phone, but you are not allowed to use it in the lab. Please, you are not allowed to use. So phones are not allowed to be used in the lab. Excuse me. Again, any injuries, no matter how small, must be reported immediately. Safety is everyone's responsibility. It may sound high, it may sound too much that I'm emphasizing on safety and rules, and it's because we have had cases where we have to rush students to the hospital. It seems too overstretched, but when it is you would understand why it's not there. Short sleeve lab clothes, straight gowns. Let me see. Okay, so a valid question here. What of people that use glasses? If you use glasses, you still wear safety glasses over it. Reading glasses, recommended glasses. Now that's for your eyes to see. The safety goggles is to protect your eyes. Yes. So please, even if you use safety, if you wear glasses, so you can just get some of them that are slightly oversized. Oh God, can we wear caps? Slightly oversized, and then you wear it over your glasses. Okay, so I think this is our lab 101. I can't see it very well, but this is our shower. There's a fire extinguisher right there. There's a picture that I forgot to take. There's a sandbox right there. That's that's one exit. There's another exit here though. It's a roundabout exit. So we have a film cupboard there. So this is a lab fire extinguisher. You see how the table is tidy and all that. So you have your water faucets. When you need the Bunsen burner, it will be brought out. Some other things will be brought out to be used. So let us, I took this after a lab. The picture was taken after a lab. So you see, tidy up your work area. At times on these high benches, high work areas here, you can see chemicals that are displayed for you to use. So please always keep your area clean. Does that mean for every lab we must wear something long? Yes. Moving on. For your first lab work that you will do, the answer in your notes, we're going to talk about safety issues, hazards, and identification. Any form of anything that can cause harm is said to be hazardous. It can be water on the floor, chemical lying fallow, unlabeled chemical. So anything, and it can lead to injury. It can lead to illness. It can so uncovered chemical too. You know, all those things are hazards. Hazards. It can be a broken glass. So it can lead to injury. Somebody stepping on a broken glass. The person decided after Dr. Whenu has shouted, wear something to cover your feet. Somebody decided to drop a broken glass on your feet. So it can lead to injury. It can lead to illness. It can lead to explosion. Somebody was asking, why are you adding acid to water, not water to acid? Well, please don't come and try it in our lab. It can lead to damage to our equipment, and those things cost money. In the long run, last, the reason why you're in school, the reason why everybody wants to, there's an economics of everything. So you want to maximize profits, minimize spending. So it can lead to damage of equipment that's going to cost money. So hazard identification is one of the first things in preventing accidents. Accidents, again, can lead to something that is a permanent injury. It can be permanent. Now, there's a question here. Since the aim is to cover our feet, can we wear Crocs and socks together. So I can give you an example of a chemical that can destroy that socks on that that you are putting on. If acid spills on that socks, it will burn that socks and burn your skin alongside with it. So no Crocs and socks or slipper. Final thing on that one is closed-toe shoes. I don't want to see any holes. Don't try to wear socks and wear slippers to with it. You will be chased away. Rules are rules. Chikena, final. So there are symbols that this is standard. So I'm coming back to our class now. I'm tired of questions. Like somebody said the other time, some of you are asking questions like you're in primary too. There are symbols that provide quick hazard identification. If you have your manual, even though it's in black and white, please go to the page on safety, health, safety, and environment. Safety issues, safety symbols, and hazard identification. I think it's on page 10. So this is the picture that you have on page 10. This is the colored version of it. So you can see that each hazard has a label. I'm just showing a small one, or just a very tiny one has been shown in the lab. In your manual, there are many symbols to show hazards. If we mistakenly break something, are we going to pay? Of course you will pay. You think I will pay for you? So electrical hazard, combustible material, flammable, fire extinguisher, toxic chemical. Someone was said something that a lot of people are ignorant, not because what they need is not written out there, but because they don't learn the meaning of little things. So please, all these little symbols, even if you don't know it, you can always try to Google it. There's much more that you can use with your phone other than social media. Google it. This one, if you see this one, that's on a material, it says that, okay, you have material safety data sheets. Then you know that, okay, if you open that material, then you have more information about different kinds of safety. Please, no face caps. I don't know why are you so particular about face caps? So these symbols are used to identify hazardous materials, either in the lab or generally. On that page too, there are questions. Mention 4 substances in the laboratory that are hazardous as a result of their flammability. List 4 substances in the laboratory that are corrosive hazards. Draw any 6 laboratory symbols. Okay, so what I want to say about that question, I think I would say that almost at the end of the class anyway. Yes, no. You're going to have to, these are the questions. Hazards. We're going to have to answer this in our notebook. These questions, they're in your lab manual, so I don't have to. But ma, we are already paying lab due. So you are telling me that if you burn the lab, it's because you have paid for the lab. So in addition to these questions, I'm going to share this on the group page. So you are going to answer these questions in your lab notebook. Okay. Another set of questions that you have been, so this is on page 8 of your lab manual. Let me answer this question. Which one are we submitting after each lab? Notebook or manual? Please, if you are thinking, which one do you think will you submit? Is it the one that you are answering questions or the one that you are taking with you? Somebody said these things are not in the lab manual. Yes, they are. I'm looking at the manual that is with me. Please open to page 10 of your lab manual. So even if they are not, if you don't have them, so it means that I don't mind, I can share this page too. So this slide and that other one, I will share them with you because you are going to have to answer them. If they are not, we can share the page with you. So the last one in your lab manual, so there's a table that says that fill in common hazard sources that you feel there's a table for you to fill and answer some questions that are given there. So the last one, you'll be shown, there's another, so this one is on page 9, there's a picture there to identify and explain all the safety violations. So you're not explaining all, so you're going to identify and explain 5 safety violations. Identify and explain 5 safety violations. How come I'm looking at it in the manual? Okay, so if you don't have it in the manual, don't worry. It's always good to have this problem-solving attitude. So if you don't have it, we will share it with you. We can share the page, a PDF of the page with you, just that page, and then you print it out and you submit it. Okay. Last, the second section of the discussion today. The second section of our discussion today is laboratory equipment and apparatus. So this is not very explicit in the manual, but it is supposedly the second experiment. So the first one, yes, now there are plenty violations. There are plenty safety violations, of course. You would be surprised. Any little violation can lead to somebody's permanent accident. So please, that's why we are stressing it. So when are we submitting? I'll answer that before the class is over. Where to answer in your lab manual? Since you said that some of your lab manuals don't have it, I'll probably look at your manual. But I will share more information on the platform. So moving on to lab equipment and apparatus. Laboratory equipment and apparatus are tools that we use to perform experiments safely and accurately. Their proper use ensures reliable results, safety, safety again, and efficiency. Very, very important. So you have measuring equipment, you have glasswares, you have heating and cooling devices, you have the fume cupboard. So there are several categories. You have some specialized apparatus. In CHM 107, most of the practicals that we're going to be doing will not include some advanced stuff, but you still have, as you go higher in your coursework, whether you're in life sciences, engineering, or physical sciences, you would encounter some other lab equipment. Everything has to be handled with care. Just like when you buy something, there's a way to there's always a manual on how to use it. So each equipment has their way of using it. So these are some things that we use in the chemistry lab. With their labels. So this is a balance, a ring stand or a retort stand. I'm not sure if it's very clear here. So these are some of them that we put together in the lab. Somebody was asking, how do you fill a pipette? Now this one right here is a pipette filler. So these are different glasswares. There's aluminium flasks, there's round bottom flasks, there's a wash. Okay, I think there's a small video here. Is it going to play? Okay, so my video is not playing. Anyway, so let me continue. I'll show the video in a bit. So the video is supposed to show different different lab equipment and how they are used. So this experiment 2 is going to ask you to draw between 5 and 10 apparatus and list their uses. So you name the apparatus, you draw it, and list 2 or 3 uses for them. So that one is on page 11 of your manual. If you're saying you have we have different manuals, again, emphasizing it again, please, I will share this page with you before your lab starts, and then you will be able to answer in your notebook. It's important before you use any apparatus, those of you that are afraid to pay, are scared of paying, always make sure that when you're given any glassware, inspect for cracks and chips before use. And when you are returning it to make sure that it doesn't have cracks. Anyway, other than you paying, you don't want cracks and you don't want anything to affect your reading. Clean all glasswares immediately after use to avoid contamination or reactions. Clean glassware, so before and after use, please, not only after use. Use clamps to handle hot glassware. Never heat closed containers because pressure can result in explosion. Handle chemicals with scoops, pipers. Don't touch them directly. Dispose of chemicals appropriately. Don't worry, if you have the other manual, you are not going to be told to buy another one. Okay. Store chemicals in labeled containers. We're not going to use this in this lab, but just keep them in the appropriate places. So this is the table that you're supposed to have. You are to draw, name the apparatus, whatever it is, spatula. Draw it, draw the spatula, and one, it is used to eat, to drink, and have fun. If you want to write that, okay. So your teacher will just write 0, 0, 0. So this is the table that you have. How can you discipline your fellow students? Who appointed you to discipline the fellow students? Use your sense now. Are you the authority? You are not allowed to discipline a fellow student, please. You are not the authority then. Finally, remember to register. Purchase the required lab manual and notebook. Proceed with whatever you have purchased. Proceed to chemistry lab 101 and register. Once you are registered, once you register in a link, you'll be assigned to a lab. So we have three physical labs. We have 3 labs, each one with 2 sections. So there's lab 101 A and B, lab 105 A and B, then there's lab 120 and 121. So these 2 are in the faculty, the old Faculty of Science complex. This is in the Faculty of Engineering. You'll be directed to go there if you have been assigned there. Please, each student will be allocated a lab. At the end of the day, at the end of each lab, submit your work on the day that you come physically to the lab. So this, I've shown this one. Then there's another one that I showed the other time. This work, identify and explain, fill a table, and answer these questions. Please, you're going to submit all of them on the day you have to come physically to the lab. So you'll be grouped into 2 batches. I think I wrote it here the other time. 101 A, B, 105 A, B, lab 120, lab 121. Again, you'll be grouped into 2 batches. Two batches. 1A, grab them batch 1 and batch 2. So you will come to the lab every other week, not every week. So if you come next week, that means you're not coming upper week. That means, so let's say if you come today, assuming we have lab today, that means you are not coming next week. You are coming upper week. You cannot join any group. Who are you? You are going to be assigned to group. The first day that you are coming to the lab. So for those that have been assigned to come next week, make sure that you have answered all this and you are submitting that day with you. All the questions. So these questions will be coming out before the end of work tomorrow. So you have said that our manuals are different. I'm hoping that our lab note is not different. This is the front page, cover page. This is the first page once you open it. Please, anytime you are writing a report, include date of experiment, the title of experiment, aim of experiment, apparatus uses and apparatus used, Then you can now put in your questions, your results, necessary calculations. If you are online, you can just write it if you are looking, you can just write your name and matric number. That's fine. Can you go back to the questions? I will share the questions later. So, and then whatever conclusion you want to include in your lab manual, if there's no way there is no conclusion, even if it's ordinary titration, in the conclusion in this lab I have titrated this and this and the titer values, that is a conclusion. Now, again, your lab notebook, treat it as an examination script. So what does that mean? You cannot tear it out as you like. You can't tear it. So if you can't tear it out as you like, okay, I didn't put it. So number the pages from beginning to the end. So number the pages. Complete all this necessary information. Your name, your matric number, your department, your level, your group. Name, matric number. So complete it inside and outside the page. On the back cover and in the front cover. That's number one. So complete all that necessary info. So there's no place for batch or group, whether you're in group A or in group B, or you're in batch 1, 2, or 3. Please include it immediately you are given that. So you can include group if you want to write it somewhere there. So please group is there. It's batch that I'm looking for. So just write batch. There's space inside the manual, inside the notebook. Please write it. Says it is an examination script. Please, once you've found out that you have made an error, just cross out the errors neatly. You can just a single line or 2 lines across it is fine. The person marking it will know that that's an error. The person will not mark it. Don't start putting plenty tipex saying that you want to write on top of it. If you write on top of it with tipex, I will just cancel it. That is wrong. You are treating it as an error. So please don't tipex. Just cancel it out neatly and move on to the next available space. Then, what you're including as part of your information, the lab that you have been assigned. I've said that we have 6 labs, 101A, 101B, 101C, 101A and B, 105A and B, 120, 121. Please write it there. Then write the name of your instructor. So the lecturer that will be handling you on that day. I am I'm the coordinator of the course, but I don't have to be an instructor. So if you go and write my name, since because I'm the one teaching you today, so you are the one that would find yourself. So like I said, there are going to be about 6 of us. Write the name of your instructor. So you have your name, matric number, your department. Let's cancel level. Write your batch, group, and instructor. You can include the level anyway, but because we know that you should all do level 1. So you can include the level. Yes. Oh, I think. Let me look at your questions, both the annoying and the ones that are sensible. Lab 1, okay, thank you, Elijah. Lab 101 and 105 are in science. Lab 120 and 121 are in engineering. Any other question there? How can we find out about our group? So the lab staff will, I've been told that as you are registering, before the end of the week, you will be assigned your lab group through the link in which you registered. How are we submitting the assignments, Ma? So what's today? Today is January 7th. So the next lab is 14. So there are some people that are going to be assigned to come on the 14th. When you come on that 14th, you submit, you do the lab for that day, and then you submit along with the assignment that you must have done at home. Now, the week of convocation, that's the one after 14th, there is most likely not going to be lab. So the next batch will be coming on the 28th. So those people will not submit theirs then too. So after that, I don't expect anybody to still have any outstanding. Now, the people that came on the 14th will now come back again on the 4th of February. And the people that came on the 28th will come back on the 11th of February. And it goes on like that. Are we to write in the which one is the assignments in? Yeah, yes, of course, you are writing it. So you're going to title everything. So the first one will be the experiment one, which is the safety, and the second one will be the the laboratory equipment. So you're going to title them as that. Please start each. Let me even put it there. Start each experiment on a new page. Okay, any more questions? Will we be getting the slides, Ma? No, I am not going to share the slides with you. But I am going to share the part of the manual that you said you do not have. I'm going to share that with you. The lab notebook should be how many leaves, Ma? The lab book notebook is still out here. That is the only one that is going to be allowed. If you bring any other lab notebook, sorry, you're on your own. It will not be allowed. How can we know about? I've answered that. Any other new question? Technically, registration closed on the 19th of December. We've been announcing it that it closes on the 19th. Please register ASAP. You never know when the registration will be finally closed. For clarification, is it for each lab session we have to write the name of our instructor? No, you are just right. Whoever your instructor is will be your instructor throughout. Please ignore somebody said there's no graph written. Please ignore the with graph that is written in front of the page or in front of the manual. Ignore it, please. So yes, you can continue. Yes, create a space for instructor. You are having problem with your varsity registration. Is this the CITS? You break, you buy. Okay, so they're just questions that are repeated. Your lab coat, as long as it's long sleeve, more than at minimum, and it goes at least beyond your needs, then you're fine. Even if you go and buy it from Shokoto. Please go and register. Even if you have, please, the manual will be provided very soon, please. Okay, I can't see any other question that makes sense. This information, are they? Of course not now. Information to be written on every page. Okay, so all right. Okay. So I think with this, after looking through your questions, with this, I can close the session. I don't think I have any other information that I want to share. Your batch, the questions, please. Which question? Okay. All right. So to recap, lab manual, lab notebook. Some of you, so you have said that the manual seems to be slightly different, meaning that what I've shared from this manual is different from what you have. No problem about that. I will share that page with you on the line so that you can answer it. All answers should be provided in the laboratory notebook, not any notebook, the laboratory notebook. The laboratory notebook says laboratory with graph. Please ignore that statement with graph. Just what you have been told to buy it and bring it, whether it has graph or not, as long as it is that from Department of Chemistry. So provide it, and the day that you are coming for your own lab, please make sure you have answered everything and bring it. So I'm going to share that, and then the video that I refused to play, I'm also going to share that with you so that you go through and understand the different laboratory equipment. I think there's another one on safety in the lab too. Okay,